And so we come back to our website. And again, here's the website. You guys are into, I think, delve into and would be more interested in making decisions, curriculum decisions, is going to be under employment projections. So when you come over to the website, click on employment projections, and you're going to get this page. I want to explain this page because this is a very instrumental page that I and many of my customers come to time and again. In addition to the career exploration, the occupational profiles are very good. But if you want to know numbers, and you want to know detail, and you want to know occupations, and you want to know wages, and you want to know projections, this is the page you need to know. So you click on projections of employment, and you're going to get this page. It tells you the state of California produces employment projections by county. Scroll down, and you're going to get to LA County eventually. I don't have that here. But you're going to see the same 4 columns. One of the columns is going to have, and I think I passed it out already, the highlights sheet that have a pie, not the scorecard. There's a highlights sheet. So if you click on the highlights, it's going to give you yeah, that one. Show it around to everybody. And that highlights sheet it's a very good sheet. If you don't have it, when you get to your office, click on the highlights for LA County. It's a really good little summary. And the first thing that summary does, that highlights sheet does, it gives you a 1-paragraph summary of the industry, what's going on. Okay, in LA County, these are the industries that are having those jobs. And they pay this much. Then the second paragraph tells you, in LA County, these are the 10 jobs that are going the most. And these are the 10 jobs that are the most common. That's all you need to know. But in the backside, this is the one I like. But the backside, it gives you the top occupations by education level. And that's really helpful too, because you start seeing the education levels and the top jobs by education levels in the backside. You click this, if you want the sheet, click on projections of employment and highlights. Now, that's just the intro. I think the meat and bones for you, that's just a summary of all this. The meat and bones for you, well, it depends on how hungry you are. For the shortcut, we have the most common occupations, which is called most job openings, and the fastest growing occupations. 10 years ago, when I started working at LMI, in those days, the fastest growing occupations were high-level technical occupations and high degree. Because there was a high demand, there was not enough doctors and computer specialists, et cetera, not so many. Then we click on this one, it's the most common occupation. The most common occupation in Los Angeles County. Does anybody think about what that occupation is possible?
Service industry. Service industry.
Home health aides, that's the most common occupation. My hope and my idea and my vision is that there's so much opportunity in that home health aid industry where you can start specializing and specializing the level of service that's being provided and making it more technical for all these entry-level individuals so they can start getting a better wage for it, providing a better, more responsive service. So they can have a certificate and start certificating all these different levels of home health aides, and maybe that will generate some better wages, because that is the most common occupation in LA County. It has overtaken another occupation which used to be quite common. Do you remember? Retail trade. Retail trade. That used to be the #1 occupation. Now it's dropped down to #3, home health aides. Oh, this is one more thing that when my nephew said to me, "Uncle, I want a job, but I'm sick and tired of school. I don't want to go to college." I told him, take a look at this list right here. And it's going to give you the occupation, the wages, the projection of employment, and the training level, all in one sheet. And I told him, identify 3 occupations that you like and the wages. And he went over there and went up to me and said, "Theo," I said Spanish. I said, "Uncle, go back at least to JC." That's the first thing, because I at least want to go back to JC. And within that, I like these 3 occupations. Okay, now that you've identified 3 occupations from that list, let's go to the occupational profile where we're going to get the details. If you're a counselor, a good career counselor, just that little interaction with your student, give them a handout, you can file it as having provided an LMI service in your WIA forms. You're providing LMI, if you need to document that you're providing LMI to your students or in that capacity. But it's a really good list for you. All these lists, if you want to know the industry projections that we took a look at in more detail, you click on the industry projections, there's a narrative. But this one right here in the middle, that's a big one. Because it's going to give you every single occupation outlined by the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics. 850 occupations are outlined in this list here. It's going to give you the SOC code, the official occupational title, the going wages. Well, it's going to give you, maybe it'll give you 3 wages. It's going to give you the wages. It's going to give you the training level. And it's going to give you the amount of on-the-job training experience that you need for every single job. And they're classified under occupational groups. So you can look at all the computer jobs, all the health jobs. They're not classified through an industry. So you can have families of occupational groups that are already broken out for you. As a follow-up, I don't mind coming back and we can talk about just those occupational groups. What I wanted to do is to introduce you to this website, because there's a wealth of information. And you start looking at those occupational groups, and I created this little list right here. This is the top occupation by education level. We talked about personal care aides. If you have a high school diploma, these types of jobs. Remember those lists that I talked about earlier? They have SOC codes. If you're familiar with SOC codes, that's the coding system for occupations, for all the official occupations. Teacher assistants, if you have some college, is the most common occupation. Post-secondary, non-degree award, look at this. Massage therapist. Top job for AA degree, physical therapy assistants. Top job for a bachelor's degree, what at the top? Agents and business managers. But we're talking about growth, not the most common occupation. All these jobs are growing at a rate of more than 25%. 25% growth rate. Marriage and family therapists for master's degrees and doctoral and professional degree will get you a clinical and counseling 26% growth. Now these are the most common occupations. Those are the fastest, they're the most common occupations by education level. Personal care aides, office clerks, TAs, nursing assistants. These are the most common. When my client would sit in front of me and say, Juan, I need a job tomorrow, I used to go to the most common occupations list. Because those are jobs that it's going to be a high turnaround. There's a lot of people working in this capacity. So if you just need a job out of town, so I look at these jobs, they're very common. Something's got to, we'll find something in there. That's the same list that you have on the back side of the highlights sheet that I showed you. It actually tells you fastest growing is percentage-wise. Be careful with percentages now, because 50% or 80% can be 2 jobs. All right? So then we get the actual numbers, numerical growth by education level. That's a very functional sheet that I have here. If you don't already have it, I'll mention here. We talked about the quick links. Industry projection. I have a sheet that has in-demand middle school occupations. I also have a sheet that calls entry-level skills, entry-level occupations. It's really cool just to post it up. Again, the quick links that Ryan's going to be making available to you, it's really going to be the key for using LMI. If I were to give you a binder, you'd probably do what I do when I go to a training. I'm going to shove it. And I'll probably open it up when I have time, and I never have time to do it. So what I prefer, and I think it's easier, is if on your desktop, save that electronic tool, and when LMI comes to mind, and I know this, you're not dealing with LMI on a daily basis, you can reference that quick link tool, quick links tool, and it's going to save time. How many times have you been told to go on a website, see what you use when you go to a website? Like, okay, where? Forget that. We'll leave her over for LMI because it's going to save you time. Finding information on the website can be time-consuming and burdensome. Out the door. No more. Easy. Click on the link and presto, there you are. We have quick links at different user groups that I can make available to you too. I have quick links for job seekers. I have quick links. They have different needs, slightly different needs. They overlap a lot. I have quick links for employers. Employers, you're talking about how employers, 85% are small employers wearing many hats in the workplace. Do you think you know what the going wages are for every single? There you go. They're using LMI. We have quick links for educators. We have quick links for job seekers. Oh, are we doing employment services also? Is that part of our curriculum? Let me tell you something. Working for EDD for more than 12 years, I can tell you where it's falling, where job seekers are not cutting it. We're creating great resumes. We're getting good training. We're generating competent individuals, but it's in the interview that they're bombing out, folks. It's in the interview. I used to coordinate a group called Experience Unlimited, and all the participants in this group had college degrees. So they got like VIP because they were going to be in an easy placement, right? They had the education level. They had the impeccable resumes. They even had the work history, but they didn't have a job. And there was a reason why they didn't have a job. They did not know how. Their social skills were limited sometimes, but the interviewing skills, as guides, we can help them create a beautiful resume. We can help them create a cover letter and check and make sure that all the references are going to come through. But we cannot walk in there with them in the interview, and we don't know what they're saying. Or do we? We should know. I'm telling you, when I had a person sitting there in front of me and they were part of my caseload, and I needed to get them placed, and I was helping them with their resumes and working with them, and I was really worried when I sent them out into the interview because even if we knew what we had to say, they were still not getting the job. So I saw some ABC News quick dating thing, and I said quick interview. Right? 5 stations in this club, and each station was going to be a different, and who cares how they answered? It didn't matter if they answered correctly or incorrectly. It matters that they felt confident in responding. But I used to be a school teacher, and when I had these kids and I say, class, what's 2 plus 2? Pick me, and they wanted me to pick him, Jose, 4, and he was the happiest guy in the class, right? That's how we want our job seekers to walk into the interview. It's one thing to know the answer in your head. Everybody knows why you're a good educator and why you're there, and why you deserve to be here. You know it, but tell me why, quick. And you're going to be at a loss for words. So it's one thing to know the answer in your head, and another thing to articulate it at the tip of your tongue, and that's what being ready for the interview means. And if you're setting up your students or job seekers without knowing what the answer is here, not only are you setting them up for failure, you're setting yourself up for failure. Because you know what I started doing? I started videotaping, because the cameras are just out, right? Videotape this job seeker. Just 2-minute questions. And then come back tomorrow, we're going to look at this video, or we'll sit down and look at it. And not much had to be said. You know what they did? Million mental notes. They were making mental notes. And then we come back tomorrow, and they do the same interview, and you know what happened in my placements? I started getting placements. These things work. And that's when I learned. And I do a lot of LMI training to all the EDD people and the partners, and I tell them, how much are you focusing on the interview? Because we can be as perfect as we can get as in the resume. Nobody knows. When we walk in the door, we have to live up to the resume. One thing, there's a set commonly asked interview questions out there. Why should I hire you? What is your strength? What is your weakness? They should know the answer, not in their head, in the tip of the tongue. Practice with your girlfriend, with your mother, with your sister, with the mirror. Everybody. And you too. Because the day's going to be we're out of a job. We're going to need to know the answer in the tip of our tongue. Because when you're interviewing day in and day out for 4 days, people are coming in. You're going to know the ones that are prepared. It stands out. It's like day and night. I've done it. So, all this LMI, all this great, wonderful information has its value. But then there's that qualitative LMI, not the quantitative. Learning how to make strategic job search, researching, getting that personal aspect. Looking for a job is a job. Part-time work, part-time pay, full-time work, full-time pay. No work, no pay. Let's keep it real. And when they say it's who you know, not what you know, there is some truth to that. There is some truth. That's just the reality. But what you know will take you far, especially if you know what you know is good. So it's a big world. It's a strategy. You have to use the data, whether it be to secure grants and to make the case and show the numbers. There's the demand. And you know, sometimes these numbers seem very ecstatic, they're just out there, they're just numbers. Let's put them into play. Let's put them into application. There are 8,000 people in this capacity. This industry is growing by 25%. We need to prepare students for that. And we only have this much growth in this industry, et cetera, et cetera. If you need help in working the numbers and identifying an industry that you can't find, because I know this is very kind of more on a broader level than what you're working with. I know you're working with the 6-digit level mates. We're looking at 2 digits. 6 digits is much more specific level of industry employment, which I cannot always share because it goes into confidentiality, but I won't go into that right now. But the point being is that LMI is going to give you the big picture. And I hope that now that I've finished this presentation, that you have a better scope and understanding of how you can apply LMI, how you understand LMI and its application, and how you can use the website to gather the information you need. This information is there. How many clicks of a button do you need? Just 2, 3 clicks of a button in your hand. Now I know it's about time. I know that you're very busy people. I know that you have your work to have. Start to finish. So there you have the quick tools. Click on your quick links. Projections, that's a link. Unemployment rate, that's a link. Training, that's a link. Employers, click on the link. And you know, if you have questions, then you can send me an email. My contact information. There are 3 labor market consultants in LA County. One of us is actually assigned to Santa Barbara and Ventura as well. So for the most part, I'll be your guy. I have a hearing disability. If you call me over the phone sometimes, so I prefer emails. If you have, in the future, if you have events, discussion groups, I can provide you with employer lists. I'm available to come out and help and be in any capacity that I can help. I'm available. Any questions now? Is there anything, any just general questions that you have? I'm willing to answer and try to entertain them as much as I can. You're set? Ryan?
Are we good? All right, everybody.
I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
What I did want to say is, and Juan has